week 15 of the fantasy basketball season, and it's hard to believe there's only 2 more weeks left here in most fantasy leagues till the playoffs start. So here's a few guards I've looked at on the waiver wire this week. The first guy is Thomas Swanasky of the Chicago Bulls. So Kobe White, he's been out the last few games here with health and protocol issues. And Tornasky now, he's been a decent pickup over the last few games. On the season, he's ranked 169 in fantasy basketball, 8.2 points a game, 2.6 rebounds, 5 assists, 0.9 threes a game, 92% from the foul line, and 52% from the field. But the last couple weeks, since he's had an expanded role, 12 points a game, 2.7 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.1 threes a game, 55% from the field. So Satoransky here, former Washington Wizard, now he's on the Chicago Bulls, obviously, and he's been playing better with extended minutes here, and I think he's had a pretty decent season as a backup. And Chicago just beating the Brooklyn Nets here after a big game from him. I think he's going to be in the starting lineup even if Kobe White comes back, or at least get extended minutes where he's going to play 25-30 minutes a game. Is Satoransky here, and the last 3 games, March 31st at Phoenix, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals and a 3. April 2nd at Utah, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 threes. And last night in the big victory versus the Brooklyn Nets, 19 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, and 2 3-pointers. So right now, he's a guy that's going to help you with 3-pointers a little. 1 or 2 a game he's going to hit. The assists are the big thing he gives fantasy owners. And he's actually a decent rebounder as well for a point guard. And he's available in 70% of fantasy leagues. So I would give him a shot until Kobe White comes back. The second guard this week's Jalen Brunson of the Dallas Mavericks. So Brunson, he's been a pretty good backup this season for the Mavs. And we've seen flashes on and off from him this season. And Brunson on the season, he's ranked 160th in fantasy basketball. 12.9 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1.2 threes a game, 81% from the foul line, and 53% from the field. And in the last couple weeks, with the playing time going up, the numbers have gone up as well for Jalen Brunson. 16.3 points a game, 4.4 rebounds, 0.1 assists, 77% from the foul line, and a nice 57% from the field for Brunson. So Brunson right now, the last 3 games, he's got 25 to 33 minutes a game, and he's a guy that could come off the bench and score. He's not that big of a 3-point shooter. He's only going to get about 1-3 a ball game, but he'll get you some rebounds, he'll get you some assists, and he'll get a steal or 2 a game maybe, and he don't really turn the ball over much. March 31st at Boston, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a 3. April 2nd at the New York Knicks, 15 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. And then a couple nights ago at Washington, 19 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a 3. So Brunson right now, he's like the 6th man there in Dallas, and he's producing, scoring. And if you need the guy that's going to score you 15, 20 points of late, get a few rebounds and few assists, and have a pretty good shooting percentage, Brunson's definitely worth an ad. And he's available still in 75% of fantasy leagues. The next guard is Anthony Melton of the Memphis Grizzlies. So Melton, he signed a pretty decent contract in the offseason here with the Memphis Grizzlies, but he's been banged up on and off for most of the season. But the last couple games now, he's really stepped his game up. And on the season, he's ranked 129 in fantasy basketball, 10.1 points a game, 3.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.2 steals a game, 1.8 threes, 77% from the foul line, and 48% from the field. In the last couple weeks here for Melton, 14 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.5 steals, 3.3 threes a game, 83% from the foul line, and 52% from the field. So right now, even in small time minutes, he's putting up some big games and decent numbers, is Anthony Melton. And this Grizzly team, they most likely won't make the playoffs this season, and they gave him a big contract, and I expect to see the minutes go up for him. The last 3 games, he's played about 15 to 24 minutes is his peak. March 31st versus Utah, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, a steal. April 2nd versus Minnesota, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 4 threes. And then last night at Philly, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 threes. So Melton, He's a volume shooter, and right now he's hitting the three-point ball at a pretty good rate. So if you need some three-point shooting, a few steals here and there, and a couple assists and rebounds, Melton's not a bad ad, and he's still available in 84% of fantasy leagues. And he's definitely worth a shot this week. The next guard's R.J. Hampton of the Orlando Magic. So Hampton, he was an intriguing prospect coming out of the NBA draft last season. And obviously he came from overseas, and the Denver Nuggets drafted him. But then he got traded here in the Aaron Gordon deal to the Magic. And Hampton now, he's getting an expanded role with the Magic rebuilding and trading a lot of cornerstones like Vuk. They traded Gordon, obviously, and Evan Fournier as well. And Hampton on the season, he's ranked 364 in fantasy basketball, 3.8 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 68% from the foul line, and 43% from the field. But those numbers are a little misleading. With Denver, he was a guy that played once in a while, because this Denver team, obviously they're competing to try to make the championship, but I don't see it happening this year. But now going to the Magic, it's a perfect rebuild situation for R.J. Hampton to get involved in and have some fantasy value and see what he's made of. And in the last couple weeks, since he's playing more, 9.2 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 66% from the foul line, and 45% from the field for Hampton. So Hampton now, the last two games, he's played 30 minutes plus here for this Magic team. And Michael Carter-Williams, we know what he is for sure. And the Magic should know what he is too. Cole Anthony, he's still banged up here and there. So R.J. Hampton, it seems like he's the last man standing at that point guard position. And he definitely should get a lot of run the last 22 games of the season here. On April 1st at New Orleans, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. April 3rd at the Utah Jazz, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And then last night at Denver versus former team, he had a big game with Hampton. His best game of his career, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes. So Hampton, he's producing pretty good numbers. And like I said, the last two games, 31 minutes and 33 minutes. If these minutes continue to spike up and stay in the 25 to 30 minute range, I think Hampton could be a valuable player on your fantasy team and help you in many different categories. Just the only thing, he's not much of a three-point shooter, but that will come along in time, and he's available in a whopping 95% of fantasy leagues. In the fifth and final guard, I would look to add on waivers this week here, Shake Milton of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Shake Milton, he's been a pretty good six-man off the bench this season here for the Sixers, and he had fantasy value for most of the season on and off. And on the season, he's ranked 184 in fantasy basketball, 14.1 points a game, 2.3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.1 threes, 86% from the foul line, and 45% from the field. But the last couple weeks, Melton, he's on a hot streak, 15.1 points a game, 2.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.4 threes a game, 81% from the foul line, and 48% from the field. So Melton, we know he's a straight shooter, and he's going to hit some three-pointers. He's going to drive to the basket, and he's a guy that's going to get 25 to 28 minutes a game here for this Philly team. I know they got a log jam at guard, but this guy's one of the best pure scorers off the bench in the NBA, in my opinion. And the last 3 games, April 1st at the Cleveland Cavaliers, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 5 threes. April 3rd versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes. And last night versus Memphis in a shocking loss, 14 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. So if you just need pure scoring and a few three-pointers a game, this is the guy for you in Shake Milton. He's on a good team. He's going to get some burn off the bench, and he's a guy I would add, and he's available in 70% of fantasy leagues. So that's a few guards I would look to add here in week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.